Hello, my name is Sridharan. I take care of the delivery organization of Berry Muller Engineering Services Division. Today, I want to talk about the gap between the industry and the institution. Particularly when the students join the industry, they see there is a big difference between what they studied in the college and what they actually work on a day to day basis. Companies have found out ways to bridge the gap. One of them is to do some internship, and many companies do follow that. Some companies have gone to an extent where they introduce course in the final semesters so that the students are ready and undergo certain portion of the training before they come and join the industry. One of the area that seem to be needing good amount of bridging the gap is CAD, particularly called computer aided design. Students have a lot of innovativity and creativity to try and develop their own ideas, and CAD helps them immensely to come up with those ideas into a nice solution. But what happens is when they really try to put it in a practical situation, those ideas may not be feasible. That is the gap that we are talking about. And CAD has facility to do all kinds of ideas into a creative solution, but we are not able to bring it to the practical approach. The other area in the gap that we found is between the industry and institution is particularly called CAD. People try to come up with unique ideas and innovative solutions by doing a lot of 3D CAD models in the CAD environment. Sometimes these CAD cannot be actually made into a practical solution. That's the gap that we wanted to avoid. As a CAD manager in an industry, we have seen many students struggle when they come to an industry and they think about in 2D and they try and do circles and holes instead of making them into actual parts and actual pieces. Engineering students who are aspiring to do computer aided design have great skills of coming up with innovative and creative ideas. CAD helps them to come up with those ideas and show it to the world. Unfortunately, these ideas and creative solutions may not work on a practical basis due to limitations where it can be manufactured or it cannot be manufactured. As a CAD manager, we have seen many students coming from many industries having few gaps when they actually work on a product. Engineering drawing is one of the media that has been communicated between one industry to other. So this is the language between engineers. We want to make sure that those ideas are captured well and those are represented and interpreted very well when they communicate. One among them is called geometric dimensioning and tolerance. We call it as GD&T. This is the international language between engineers. It has set rules, regulations, forms, tolerances, which has to be put in certain way so that the other engineer who reads the drawings is able to understand what has been written there, represented well, and so that he can actually use the drawing to make the part or build the part. GD&T is the exact language between engineers. Design engineers create drawings using GD&T. Manufacturing and production builds parts using GD&T, and the quality engineers do the quality assurance using those GD&T. The drawing, which started with the design, ends with the manufacturing and quality with the same interpretation so that everyone understands the exact dimensions given in the drawing. GD&T also needs uniformity that does not allow assumptions and interpretation between people when they see in a different language. It needs to have the same information right from the design till the inspection so that the drawings are very clear. The other important thing is the dimensional units. We have two unit systems, one is imperial, the other one is metric. Many countries do follow the metric systems, but some countries even today follow the imperial systems. The students need to be aware of both the systems so that they can work in the companies like us where we are catering to the industry using both the metric and the imperial system. Children today use calculator for even small calculations. This is not only with children, it is true with the engineers too. They tend to use the software too much, but they are dependent on the software also. But when they come to the industry, they may have to use some basic calculation. They cannot be dependent on software all the time because they might be in the field. They have to remember certain basic requirements and calculations, and they may have to do it by their own. The next desirable qualification is finite element analysis. In today's world, people do manufacture product and they test for their reliability. But things have changed. They want to do analysis first before even manufacturing. They call it as working prototype. Sometimes they build it or even optimize it to the best before it is getting manufactured. Every institution today provides finite element analysis as a basic course in their final semesters or during their college days. But that is very different from they actually use it in an industry level. The next activity is the mechanisms. People need to be aware about various kinds of mechanisms that they use in the industry today. From what my knowledge is, there are 62 mechanisms available and people do use those mechanisms right from robot to CNC lathe. One can use any mechanism but need to be aware what mechanism to be put in where, and this is purely common sense sometimes. The industry exposure is one among the important activity the student need to do before they enter into the industry. During their last year in their college, they try and go and work in an industry in a small period. Either they call it as an internship or they have some practical experience when they meet or work in an industry. This is very important and immensely required for someone to be aware about what exactly the industry is expected out of them. Industry exposure is practiced worldwide. Students get opportunity to go to an industry and work in a practical work environment and understand what is happening there in an actual scenario. Sometimes that gives them a good understanding also to use it in the future business. Students need to have a good imagining and creative knowledge. Innovation is so important that anything that they come up with need to be presented to the rest of the people. They provide in a 2D environment today, but 3D does help us to make sure that everyone understands what their creative idea is. There is always a difference between theory and practical. Students try to do things in theoretical, they learn many theories, but when it comes to the practical world, there's always a difference. We do some well symbols, for example, and put it in a nice drawing. But when it comes to the manufacturing, you see very different well that has happened in the manufacturing. This is the example I used to give for students when they come and join me. When I came to an industry, I was asked to design a sprocket. The sprocket is of 57 teeth, 1.5 inch pitch, and a duplex sprocket. I was asked to draw in 1:5 scale. I drew it very well. But when the sprocket actually came manufactured, I was very surprised. It was as big as a piece of metal, and I couldn't even imagine that I drew this sprocket. It was so heavy that I couldn't even move the sprocket. That is the example that I'm talking about. Today, engineers use CAD, they use monitors, they make drawings and models in the small monitor. But this real size is very different. We need to imagine, we need to understand what the differences are. That is called visualization, that is called imagining power, and that is need to be innovative as well. Lastly, with the world going green, the students need to be aware about the green initiatives. Reusability, eco-friendly material, and less carbon footprint are the talk of the world today. And our designs and future designs need to be in that angle. Thank you.